Hi, everybody. How we all doing? I am waiting to see if I'm actually live here.
Yeah, I'm watching an ad.
Yes, I monetized my live stream.
I'm skipping an ad.
Yes. Hey.
Hey, you guys still get credit for it if it's skipped, don't you?
I don't think so. I don't know. YouTube doesn't tell me anything.
I'm sorry, I'm your moderator. I needed to be here more than you needed those half a penny AdSense.
Hey, those half pennies add up.
They do. They do.
Oh, now we're live. Hello. How we doing?
We have 18 attending so far.
Very good.
Yes, Shane. We are indeed live.
Woohoo! And there's only like a 2 to 3 second lag this time. Nice. Let's see. Hello, Christian Bennett. Hello, the Ex Machina guy. Hello, Claire Carey. Epic Pun Slinger. Jose the Beast. Hugs to you too.
Hugs to you too, Jose.
Grace Kim 1. Hello. Matt R75.
Hey, Tom.
Doing okay.
Hey, Grace.
Tom El Pero Spike. Oh, I'm so loved. I got friends.
Welcome, player. Error 404. Glad you were able to make it.
Hello, one and all.
Aw, Claire says you've got to be the nicest reviewer ever.
Oh, stop.
Don't stop, he loves it.
Compliments are hard to come by these days.
Is it the first time, Grace? I thought we've seen you here before. Must be someone with a similar name.
It's entirely possible. Yes, did you hear that, baby? We're both really cool. Except the compliment.
I have been.
She says that while she's silently rolling her eyes. Oh, God, I am so not cool.
I don't have time to roll my eyes. I'm writing down voice suggestions. New comic reviews. There is actually a new comic review coming out next month as part of Bobsheaux.
And thank you for asking. That tells me that, hey, people are actually watching my comic reviews.
Please watch his comic reviews if you want him to do more.
Yes.
They are typically not his most viewed videos.
Not really, no. But a lot of people, or not a lot, but some people tell me, rather, that they're getting into comics because of me. So, do I keep going? Do I not keep going? I don't know.
Yes, you keep going.
No, I'll just share my final episode, and that'll be it.
Oh, that's the thing, Claire. They don't have to be new.
Everybody,
no. The same ones he's done a million times, he's reading new material.
Yes.
So it's always fresh, even if it is the same. People typically suggest the same 100 or so voices every time.
And
Sketchflux says you made them a Batman fan again.
What did I do?
From your reviews. Was there a specific review or just the fact that he's such a Batman nerd?
What am I drinking here? Just water. Or should I start drinking some of this so things can get really interesting?
It ain't yum. Get that away. What's the matter with you, lush?
1, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And 2, I am of French descent, as you know.
This is true.
And which you appreciate. Hi-oh!
I am trying a triple strength energy coffee from Starbucks, and it's tasting a bit chemically, but I'm needing the caffeine. I don't know if anybody asked me what I was drinking, but that's what I'm drinking.
Sorry, baby. And yes, this is Dinobot in the background. It is actually a knockoff Dinobot. And what an age we live in where the knockoff Transformers can actually be better than the official ones in some cases.
We binge watched the Dark Crystal. How many days does it take us to watch the whole series?
Oof.
3? Oh, I left in the middle of it.
Yeah, we started watching like the day before you were supposed to leave, and I think it took us like at least a week to get through it completely.
He has not yet watched Pup Academy, but I have a feeling that he's going to.
Amy, no.
Yes.
No. It's
Oh, Tank Ace. I love you so much.
No.
Wait, Bob, you're of French descent? Quick, surrender.
I have your surrender right here. But yeah,
Yes, watch The Dark Crystal. It is so good. They have to have a season 2. Season 2, start the petition. I'll sign it.
They really need to, because when you think about it, this Dark Crystal miniseries ending on a good note doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. All throughout the series, I was just kind of sitting there waiting, okay, who's going to be the bearer of bad news and tell the Gelfling they're not going to live?
They'll come back.
I hope so, because they're doing a really, really good job with this show.
Jonathan Bailey Art and Animation suggests that you review both the movie and the miniseries.
Okay, my review for the Dark Crystal movie. Go watch it.
No. Officially. I'm sure he means officially.
Yes,
Take it under advisement.
Ooh, that's an idea. A theme month devoted to Jim Henson's non-Muppet material.
That is a good idea. I am writing that down.
You got the Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, the Storyteller.
Oh, wow.
But what to vote on? Because there really isn't a lot. There were some good things, but yeah, the Muppets really were his bread and butter, weren't they?
We'll figure it out.
Yes, we will. Or maybe just things that he's worked on, or not he specifically, but the Creature Shop.
Maybe.
Like I can't do the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy again, but things like that.
Mr. Critical, his Muppets Wizard of Oz review is unblocked.
Yes, go ahead and watch that, because it is open for all to enjoy. After the live stream, yes. Stay here and watch me read. Oh, the Muppets and the Wizard of Oz. Wow. Ow. That whiplash hurt. Wow, we're talking about something good that Jim Henson did. The Dark Crystal, that's great. That's amazing. Muppets and Oz. Ah. No.
Bobsheaux, Jack Lombardi, says that you are the best movie reviewer, and if you say hi back, you will make his day.
Hello, I'm making your day. Thank you so much.
And he thanks you for bringing him joy.
Oh, you're welcome. And you guys bring me joy too, so thank you. You're welcome, thank you.
Did you review Tom and Jerry Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, I did.
Is it live?
It should be.
All right. I'm not sure if Tank Ace meant that. He did both Muppets and Tom and Jerry.
There is a sequel to it that I have to look at eventually.
There's a Mars Attacks meets Popeye comic?
Yes.
So confusing.
Yes, there is.
I have not checked out the Netflix from in San Diego, but I want to.
Yes.
One of my favorite people in the world worked on it.
When IDW got the rights to do Mars Attacks comics, they did a crossover where the Martians pretty much invaded every facet of the IDW collective universe. Mars Attacks Transformers, Mars Attacks Popeye, Mars Attacks the Ghostbusters. It was ridiculous.
Have you seen Muppet Letters to Santa?
I've been meaning to. I have not seen it yet, but it's been on my list for a while. So, I don't know, maybe we'll be checking that out this upcoming Christmas.
Maybe.
And on the topic of Christmas, you'll have to pardon me for not doing a full month of Christmas and July stuff. Just things getting...
yes, we're back on track now.
Yes, we're back on track. Things were just a little bit too hectic with the whole trying to get my lady down here. Thank you all so much who contributed and shared our GoFundMe campaign. That was such an amazing thing that you guys did for us. Thank you.
Yes, we really appreciate it. And it was wonderful. And now we are... As he said in his vote announcement video,
we are back to work.
Right. The fire is lit under our collective asses to get him here because that's got to happen.
Yes, it does.
I need more than a month.
Mm-hmm.
I need permanent.
I need to be with my lady.
Have you reviewed Muppet Treasure Island?
No, it is not, because like most good movies that are out there, I don't feel much of a need to review. Unless it's one of the more obscure things that I think people need to know about. Hey, here's Moon, check this out. But yeah, Muppet Month. There's really no reason for me not to. I've already covered the Muppet movie, the ABC Muppets series. Yeah, let's get more Muppets in here.
Yes, we had so much fun in August that we don't ever want it to end. So that's why we're trying so hard to get him to move here.
Yes.
And we're counting on you guys to help. Share his videos. He's going to be putting out a video every week, barring unforeseen circumstances, which we're trying to avoid.
Yes.
So we're trying really hard to get his channel back to consistent with the content uploads. We're trying to do extra stuff. He's got some stuff in the works. It's really going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Really
you
gonna like
guys
that.
Don't need to be afraid of his Patreon. We're going to have stuff on Patreon that's free for everybody to see. You don't have to actually be pledging to him to see it.
Yes.
But we did that with my mask. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes. There is still going to be patron exclusive material, but there's also Patreon exclusive material that is open for everybody to see. So, did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
He released the video about my masks, the mask thing that we're doing. We're seeing if people want to design masks for me. He put it on Patreon, and it was like no one really watched it. It was public.
Mm-hmm.
So all you had to do was go to Patreon and see it, but there wasn't a whole lot of, and I think it's because people think they have to be pledging or, to join to see it. But if it's public...
Didn't need to pledge to see that one.
Right, you didn't need to pledge to see that.
Yes, that was public, even if it was on a different platform. So yes, do check that out, and check out everything else that we're going to be putting up on there, because I think you're really going to enjoy it. Just throwing that out there.
Yes, Claire, I did see that comment. I haven't been able to go and really respond to the comments in the video about my mom passing away. I need to, but I'm just trying to keep going, and I really haven't processed it, and I don't want to bring the room down. So, but yes, I did see that, and having favorites is a bad thing. I don't really blame my mom. She grew up in a very abusive household. She did the best that she could. She was a good mom. I know she loved me.
Yeah.
But she just, my brother had some problems, some learning disabilities, and he stuttered, and he was picked on when he was little, and she just had the idea that she had to protect him and take care of him all of his life. And that's why she doted on him, and it just became kind of a habit. And but I don't think she didn't do anything maliciously. I do know that. And she was a good mom. She did the best she could.
Which we could say the same thing about the rest of your family, but
yeah. But like I said, I don't want to bring the room down, so I do need to go and respond to the comments. I really appreciate everyone that's put comments on there, and
yes.
I totally appreciate everyone that's contributed.
Yes.
Trying to help me get my mom's funeral paid for and her headstone and everything. Share that if you're able to. If you're able to contribute, thank you. If not, at least share it, because every little bit does help.
Yes, and you'd be surprised what kind of help that just sharing does. Again, citing the GoFundMe that we had to get Raven down here, we were getting so many donations from people I never heard of. Of course, I'm seeing donations from names that I'm seeing on my Patreon all the time. Oh, he donated. Oh, she donated too. Thank you, guys. But I'm seeing total strangers who are donating like hundreds of dollars at a time. It's like, whoa, holy crap. So, yeah, share. Donate if you can, but if you can't, totally fine. Just go ahead and share with whoever you can because that really does help. Thank you. Let's see, we are now at 10:16. Shall we get this show on the road, do you think?
Let's do like 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes? Okay. Y'all having a good time so far?
Well, hopefully, but it wasn't a real nice conversation. So let's change the subject.
Because we love you guys. Atomic Artist Guy says, thank you, we love you too.
I'm switching up a little bit. I was talking and not writing.
That's okay. And Brandon Croker loves us. We love you too. Always good to see you in chat. Mr. Critical says, I need a
combo. I'm sorry about your Uncle Monster combo.
Oh dear.
Passed away.
Oh, yes, deeply sorry. Trying to get back into the fun here.
Patreon does convert currency.
Oh yes, yes it does. Don't you worry about that. Mr. Critical says, I need a Best Friends Bobsheaux review because Nostalgia Critic refuses to do the entire movie for some stupid reason. Possible he doesn't want to get hit with more copyright stuff like he originally did for The Room. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk about him.
Well, no, we're not talking about him per se, just the fact that he isn't doing anything for a particularly legit reason. A legit reason which I generally know how to work my way around. He said while adjusting his non-existent necktie. But best friends. Interesting. We should review Best Friends, huh?
What do you mean, can you share things if you're not on Patreon? What things are you wanting to share, Grace? Movies on Patreon? Are you talking about the reviews that are on Patreon?
Oh yeah. I'm movies to a review. Yeah. I'm getting mail requests from everybody all the time, and I seriously got to catch up on my fan mail here, by the way. But yeah, no, you want a movie that needs to be reviewed? Go ahead and send it my way to my PO box, and I will.
No, I don't think that's what she's talking about.
No.
She says, "Can we share things if you're not on Patreon, like movies to review?"
Yeah, you want to clarify here, Kim, please?
No, that's Grace.
Grace
Kim. Or maybe
Kim?
Kim Grace. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Mail. Okay, yes.
Yes.
Okay, you understood. I didn't.
Yes, you don't need to be part of my Patreon in order to send me movies to review. Just go ahead and send me whatever you want, and I may get to it at some point. I've got a huge backlog of movies here that people want me to take a look at. I will get to it eventually, I promise, because Bobsheaux ain't going away anytime soon. Nope. Although it is fun to tease my lady about it.
What is the toy? Yeah, you're terrible. What is the toy in front of the double-decker couch and next to me?
In front of the double-decker couch and next to you is something which I don't think I've shown off before. It is actually a little plushie of Sabrina from Sabrina Online. It's cute.
I have Zigzag.
Yes, I had to get Zigzag for Raven since she is her spirit animal. And it's... I like this Sabrina, but it's kind of disappointing that she's not the same scale as Zigzag, who is like twice her size.
I know.
I mean, come on, how are they supposed to make out?
Oh no, Zigzag, you shouldn't do that with your employees.
Oh, come on, Sabrina, you know you love it.
No, you mustn't.
Oh, but they must.
No.
I am so lonely.
I am so ignoring you. Sparkpad wants one of Sheila.
Sheila, oh my god.
I don't think there's enough stuffing.
But they should try. They should try.
And Home Crew says, "You're not lonely, you have me."
I have home crews. No, that's right. I got my lady, don't I? I love you.
All right. I think we have enough voices to get started.
Do we?
Yes.
I have all of you guys. Yes, I do. Bob's spare time making two toys kiss.
Oh my God.
Hey, they were asking for it.
Oh.
Now you need Vicky Fox and Minerva Mink. I know who Minerva Mink is, but Vicky Fox, who's that? And I also have Wolf Bob and Doc Show. Yes, I do. Except I don't make them kiss. That's just weird. Speaking of plushies, will we ever see Dog Show and Raven plush in a video together? That information is classified. But, yeah. We are getting the show on the road, are we?
We are ready to get the show on the road, yes.
All right. We are now starting to read How I Met My Monster. Ba-ba-bum. By Amanda Knoll.
Illustrated by...
Illustrated by Howard McWilliam. And,
Okay.
isn't his work just adorable?
Yes, it is. Don't forget to show the pictures.
All right. So, what voice are we starting with?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, jeez. So, one night when I reached under the bed for my truck, I found this note instead. Monsters, meet here for final test. Z. Ha! My parents are obviously trying to trick me and stay in the bed. I didn't believe it, monsters, let me tell you. And here we have our main character, little what's-his-name, finding the note under the bed.
Oh my God.
Next.
Bartok the Magnificent.
Pass.
Mark Hamill's Joker.
So I crumpled the paper, grabbed my truck, and zipped over to my garage. I heard some creaking and rumbling, but I wasn't scared. Our house always made noises at night. Always. Yeah. Oh my God, something's happening, but nothing too weird, right? Right? Next.
Mr. Johnson from Sesame Street. I'm not even sure who that is.
Pass. Sorry.
The Chamberlain.
Oh, God. But then a voice under the bed scolded. Stop that stomach rumbling! The child will hear you! Voices? Stomach rumbling? Is this part of my parents' trick? Or if this was part of my parents' trick, it was pretty cool. I peered into the inky blackness. 5 pairs of eyes blinked back. See? Now he knows we're here, the voice sighed. One of you has broken monster rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise. This is no trick, I thought. There are monsters under my bed. Oh my god, monsters!
Very cool. Sorry, guys, he doesn't do Donald Duck. Only the guy that does Donald Duck.
Oh,
can do Donald
only Donald Duck does Donald Duck.
Duck.
Woof.
Next is Homestar Runner.
Okay, so a long-necked yellow monster slid out, followed by 4 little monsters. Rule number 2, the yellow one instructed. Never block the bed. All of you, scoot over. Hey, I realized. That one must be their teacher. I sat up straight, mesmerized by the monster parade shuffling across my bedroom. And seriously, just look at them all. Look at them shuffling. Oh my god, there's monsters. Like, seriously. Next.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Yzma?
Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove.
Okay. Yeah, I know who she is. I just don't know how to pronounce her name. I couldn't remember.
That's better, the teacher monster said. Access to the bed is clear. Now, who knows rule number 3? The purple monster teetered on his tiptoes and gurgled. Gets the child into bed. That is correct, Genghis. And how would you do that? Well, Mr. Z, I would roar my scariest roar. All right, give it a go. Genghis took a deep breath, opened his mouths, and let out a tiny blurp. Yes, he opened his mouths. Isn't that disturbing?
Sabrina is staying home sick today, and this is making her feel better.
Oh, you're welcome, Sabrina. Next voice.
Next voice, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Stomach rumbling would have a better chance of getting me into bed than that funny little noise. I laughed. The child is right, said Mr. Z, shaking his head. That was not sufficiently scary. Genghis, I'm sorry. You're not the best monster for this child. There was some creaking as Genghis slumped beneath the bed. Go home now, little girly man.
Oh, wait, forgot to show the picture. Oh no, Genghis is not his monster. Sadness. Next.
Mater.
Before I could investigate where Genghis had done gone, Mr. Z asked, now who wants to try to get the child into bed? The orange monster looked at the ceiling, and the red monster looked at the floor. Only the green one looked at me. First, he stared at my toes and started drooling. Then he took a step toward me, and I heard that rumbling noise again. Uh-oh. Little green monster gonna eat him. Ah!
Oh, no.
Next.
Little Cheech Marin.
I sprang into bed so he couldn't get my feet. Mr. Z blinked. Very unconventional, Gabe. Your stomach gargles seem to be what this child needs. What I needed was to make sure this little Gabe monster didn't eat my toes, man. Yes. Into bed he goes, which I guess is the actual purpose of the monsters. Yes, go to bed and go to sleep, or we'll kill you.
Oh, my goodness. It's not dark or anything.
Next voice.
Cool Cats.
Oh, God. You guys hate me, don't you? Right! You three! The child is now in bed, said Mr. Z. Yay! As every monster knows, the ultimate objective is rule number 4. Who can tell me what that is? The orange monster bounced and squeaked. Keep the child in bed until it falls asleep. Exquisite! Ugh. The orange monster said that. Stay away, orange monster!
Megatron G1.
Yes, look at how happy the orange monster is. Whee! G1 Megatron.
Yes.
Correct, Morgan. And how would you accomplish that? Shadow puppets! Shadow puppets! She squeaked again.
Megatron shouting in glee, shadow puppets. You're welcome, world.
Gabe whistled through his nose, and I snickered, but Mr. Z said, interesting idea. Try it. Yeah. Next.
Megatron Beast Wars.
Morgan hopped onto the night table and flailed her arms in my lap. Or near my lap, pardon me, this almost got dirty for a second there. Yes. Silly shadows bobbled onto the wall, and a cloud of fluffy fur tickled my nose. Hachoo! Megatron sneezing. There you go. Morgan, stop at once, Mr. Z ordered. You're supposed to scare him, not make him sneeze. I'm sorry, but you're not a match either. Morgan's arms flopped to her sides, and she scuttled under the bed. There was some more creaking, and Morgan was gone. So yes, shadow puppets, that's working somehow, but also sneezing, that does not work. Next voice.
Apu.
We must keep his spirit alive. After all,
Why
that's
must we keep his spirit alive?
because The Simpsons is retiring him.
Oh,
Yeah.
how many could be?
Yep. Whatever.
Well,
After all that sneezing, I really needed a tissue. Suddenly, a huge shadow of uncut claws loomed across my room. Holy moly! Awesome, I thought, and kind of scary. I froze in place. Yeah, that'll keep a child in their bed. Ah! Next.
Arthur Morgan?
Pass.
Master Shake?
Powerful performance, Gabe, said Mr. Z. But do either of you see a problem? Oh, I know, chirped the red monster. The child is out of bed again. Correct, Abigail, Mr. Z continued. And one of you must get him back in. Let's revisit rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise.
Next.
Meatwad.
Of course, it's got to be followed up by Meatwad.
I don't know who these people are, so.
They're from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. One of the weirdest cartoons on Adult Swim you will ever see.
Then all at once, poof, the monsters vanished. Then I heard more rumbling. Were they hiding in my closet, making noises to scare me? Ha, no. It was only my stomach grumbling, because I was hungry. I needed some meat wild. All this excitement was making me hungry.
Oh no, they're gone. Was it all in his head? Next.
Thanos.
Pass.
Wario.
I tiptoed past the closet and peeked out the door. So far, so good. No monsters. Then I stepped over the squeaky stair and sneaked down to the kitchen. As I reached into the pantry, I heard some chattering behind me. I sure hoped it wasn't that toy-loving Gabe.
Uh-oh. So he's going downstairs to get himself a snack here, but oh no, there's someone who's stalking him underneath that little table. Do you see him? Oh my god, it's scary.
I love the illustrations in this book.
Yes, very fun. Next. And please silence your cell phones.
No.
Ooh, haha, text message.
Yes,
Morgan Freeman.
my lady has minions talking to her on her phone. I yanked open the fridge. Ha! It wasn't Gabe. It was just the red monster shivering on the shelf. Found you, I laughed. Nice try, Abigail, said Mr. Z, but this isn't working. You're not the right monster for this child. But Mr. Z, she whined, it's not my fault he's not scared of me. I'm sorry, Abigail. Let's go. Abigail caught behind Mr. Z. When I heard the creaking, I knew she was gone. Uh-oh. Poor Red Monster's a failure. Next voice.
Mickey Mouse.
I grabbed some crackers and headed upstairs, wondering if Gabe was gone too. I walked all the way down the hall, and then I went into the bathroom to brush my teeth again. When I opened the door a minute later, Gabe was definitely not gone. He was right there, and he was huge.
Yeah, holy crap. This is what a couple of crackers does. I'm scared.
Sabrina would like to hire you to come to read to the kids at her Barnes and Noble store.
It's funny. We recently had a Batman Day on the 21st to celebrate Batman's 80th birthday. And at my Barnes & Noble, I don't know if anyone else was doing this, they had they had someone reading 5-minute Batman stories like I was doing. I didn't actually get a chance to see it, but all I could think was, it's not going to be as good as what I was doing.
Yes, we try to keep him humble around here.
It's not bragging if I can back it up.
This is true. This is true. Oh, I'm totally with you.
Next.
I love the fact that you went from thinking that you were begging, asking people to subscribe to your channel, to talking trash about people reading stories that you've read. I love it. I love that confidence.
I'm not talking trash. I'm just saying, did they have?
They weren't as good as me.
Did they have
That's
this?
not trash.
Do they have the same kind of a vocal range that I do? Of character voices?
I doubt it, seriously.
Were the little kids around him begging to say this line with this voice or read it with that voice or something? I doubt it.
I very much doubt he was reading Batman like this.
All
Anyway.
right, next voice?
Yes, next voice.
What did you just do?
I just did Mickey Mouse.
I don't know who this is, but it sounds offensive. Big Gay Al?
Oh, Big Al. On it.
I charged into my room and slammed the door. When I leaped into bed, I knew my toes were safe. Phew! I was surprised to hear breathing under my bed, ragged breathing and stomach rumbling. Hey, kid! Gabe growled. It's so super to see ya!
Thank you. This voice was perfect for this line of dialogue.
Oh my god.
I pulled my covers up tight. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to start the evening with an ominous puddle of drool, silly goose. I peeked over the edge of the bed. Green ooze spread soundlessly from underneath. Well, isn't that super?
Yes, we've got
I am offended.
Big Gabe Al, the monster.
Oh my god.
Absolutely perfect. Anywho, next.
Kermit.
Then the bed quivered and Gabe unfurled his spiked tail. Well, this looks quite promising, Mr. Z noted. When I heard some more creaking, I knew Mr. Z was gone. I was all alone with Gabe. Uh-oh. It's not easy being devoured.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. That's not terrifying. Next voice.
Garfield?
Pass.
Optimus Prime. Your choice.
Gabe loomed over my head and began sharpening his uncut claws on my bedpost. How'd you get to be so big? I gasped. Rule number 5, my friend, he explained. People food makes monsters grow. So thanks for the crackers. Got any toes I can munch? I scratched in my feet so Gabe couldn't get them. This was way better than playing with trucks. Doesn't seem like it. So, yes. This thing is looming over your bed, asking if he can eat your toes. Yeah, much better. Next
Get some
one.
of your water, babe.
Yes. Next.
Root.
I am Groot. 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 I am Groot.
Yay.
Okay, next voice.
The sea lion from Tappy Toes.
Oh, God.
No toast tonight, but you can have this, I offered, tossing a stuffed monster off the bed. Gabe dove for it. Lucky marbles!
Oh my god.
His soft, comforting snorts filled the room as he snuffled the toy. I shivered.
So, yeah, he just threw one of his friends under the metaphorical bus and under the literal bed. Nice. Which Gabe loves. Sea lion from Tappy Toes. Really? Wow, that's going back some. Next.
Lily from Alpha and Omega.
Kid, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. No other monster can scare me like you, I giggled.
Oh, my. Ooh, that's weird.
I'm loving this book.
He's looking at him from under the bed saying, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. And the kid is terrified, as well he should be. Look at the monster. He's got a pedo stash.
You're horrible.
Yes, I am. Final page, final voice.
Starscream.
Gabe was the monster for me. His snorts and ooze were perfect. I yawned, then shivered again. I was asleep in no time.
Yes, because you're really going to go to sleep with this thing under your bed. That is wrong.
By the way, we're going to go through the book at least one more, probably two more times, and then we're going to do the bonus stories.
I was actually going to ask, do we want to do the bonus stories next and then finish up on a final reading of this, or one more reading of this and then bonus stories?
One more reading, then the bonus stories, and then we'll see where we are.
Okay, good idea. Okay, we are going round the horn. How I Met My Monster, Part 2. Or the reboot. I don't know.
You know you love a good reboot.
Oh, yes.
Tommy Wiseau. I was saving that one.
Sorry, I just got to point out the fun little drawings in the inside cover here. You know that this guy's cartooning professor just loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Wiseau?
Yes.
One night, when I reached under the bed for my truck, I found this note instead. Monsters meet here for final test, Z. Ha! Sorry, I did it wrong. What a funny story, Z. My parents were obviously trying to trick me into staying in bed. I didn't believe in monsters,
He had
no.
parents?
What?
Tommy Wiseau had parents?
He just kind of congealed from somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
Next.
I don't know who this is, or if I'm pronouncing it right. Dr. Facilier? Facile?
Dr. Facilier. Little Keith David action there. So I crumpled the paper, grabbed my truck, and zipped over to my garage. I heard some creaking and rumbling, but I wasn't scared. Our house always made noises at night. How was that?
I liked it. I don't know who he is, but that was pretty good.
We gotta watch Princess and the Frog sometime.
Grover.
But then a voice under the bed scolded, "Stop that stomach rumbling! The child will hear you!" Voices? Stomach rumbling? Well, if this was part of my parents' trick, it was pretty cool. I peered into the inky blackness. 5 pairs of eyes blinked back. "See? Now he knows we're here," the voice sighed. "One of you has broken monster rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise." This is no trick, I thought. There are monsters under my bed.
Very good. Fran Drescher. Someone watched our vlog videos.
Yes, they did.
Princess Fran Drescher.
Oh, God.
I love you too.
Speaking of voices that people have heard before, I'm still waiting for one of the 3.
Shut your face.
I love you.
You do the voices that I tell you to do, buddy.
I thought I was doing the voices that they tell me to do. Wasn't that how this game works?
Who do you want to be angry? Who do you want to have be angry with you? Them or me?
Well, I like to think that you're going to forgive me if I do something that you don't like.
You'd like to think that.
Yes. But if I do something that they don't like, then they stop watching me. And if they stop watching me, then it's only harder for me to come to Oregon.
Don't feel that. Don't even go there.
What? Pull logic? Anyway.
Dance, monkey. Fran Drescher.
Princess Fran Drescher. A long-necked yellow monster slid out, followed by 4 little monsters. Rule number 2, the yellow one instructed. Never block the bed. All of you scoot over. Hey, I realized. That one must be their teacher. I sat up straight, mesmerized by the monster parade shuffling across my bedroom. And of course, there's nothing here to prompt this, but I gotta do it anyway.
I don't know why I love her so much.
Next.
Dead Bob? Is that a character? Did I read that wrong?
I don't know any Dead Bob.
Okay. Constantine from Muppets Most Wanted?
Oh, God. Yes, who is now the legitimate Kermit the Frog, which is creepy.
It's weird, yeah.
I mean, I mean, think about it. Not only, okay, there was stuff happening with Steve Whitmire. He had to go. Okay, fine. We need a replacement for Kermit the Frog. The new voice is going to sound different enough, and that's weird, but Constantine? There's something wrong about that. He actually did replace Kermit. Anywho. "That's better," the teacher monster said. "Access to the bed is now clear. Now who knows rule number 3? The purple monster teetered on his tiptoes and gurgled, "Get the child into bed." "That's correct, Genghis. And how would you do that?" "Well, Mr. Z, I would roar my scariest roar." "All right, give it a go." Genghis took a deep breath, opened his mouth, and let out a tiny blurp. Nailed it.
Okay, just as a reminder for people that are joining us recently, when you have a voice suggestion, feel free to suggest it, but don't spam the channel with it. Don't suggest it over and over again.
No
It's
spamming,
going to
please.
take me a while. I'm literally on page 3 of voice suggestions.
Single spaced.
Yeah, single spaced. So while I am writing them down, I have to go back to where we left off for the next voice. These voices were suggested a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little reminder, it's no problem. No one's doing it really a lot. I just noticed that it was starting to happen a little bit, so I wanted to remind everybody.
And hello, new people. Nice to see you.
Yes. There are so many voice suggestions, I don't even know who these are.
Well, what's next?
Nothing. The next voice is Michael Rosen. Isn't that Lex Luthor from Smallville?
Yes.
No, that's Rosenbaum.
Rosenbaum. Yeah, that's right.
You know Michael Rosen?
Mm-mm.
Okay. He-Man.
Pass.
Cookie Monster.
Oh, stomach rumbling would have a better chance of getting me into bed than that funny little noise, me laughed. The child is right, said Mr. Z, shaking his head. That was not sufficiently scary. Genghis, me sorry. You are not the best monster for this child. There were some creaking as Genghis slunk beneath the bed. Oh, poor Genghis is sad. He must have cookie!
Next.
Sideshow Bob.
Before I could investigate where Genghis had gone, Mr. Z asked, "Now, who wants to try to get the child into bed?" The orange monster looked at the ceiling, and the red monster looked at the floor. Only the green one looked at me. First, he stared at my toes and started drooling. Then he took a step forward toward me, and I heard that rumbling noise again. I sprang into bed so he couldn't get my feet. Mr. Z blinked. "Very unconventional, Gabe. Your stomach gurgles seem to be what this child needs." What I needed was to make sure this little Gabe monster didn't eat my toes. Next.
Next is Waspinator.
Oh, okay. That Waspinator. Here we go.
Right, you three. The child is now in bed, said Mr. Z. Every monster knows the ultimate objective is rule number 4. Who can tell Waspinator what that is? The orange monster bounced and squeaked. Keep the child in bed until it falls asleep. Correct, Morgan. And how would you accomplish that? Shadow puppets, he squeaked again. Gabe whistled through his nose and snickered, but Mr. Z said, "Interesting idea. Try it."
This Waspinator is excited for shadow puppets, too. There you go.
The next one, Magic Mirror from Snow White.
Pass.
Danny DeVito.
Morgan hopped onto my night table and flailed her arms near my lamp. Silly shadows blobbled onto the wall, and a cloud of fluffy fur tickled my nose. Achoo! Morgan, stop at once, Mr. Z ordered. You're supposed to scare him, not make him sneeze. I'm sorry, but you're not a match either. Morgan's arms flopped to her sides as she scuttled under my bed. There was some more creaking, and Morgan was gone. Poor Morgan. Next.
Frieza.
Pass.
Bugs Bunny.
After all that sneezing, I really needed a tissue. Suddenly, a huge shadow of uncut claws loomed across my room. Awesome, I thought, and kind of scary. I froze in place. Powerful performance, Gabe, said Mr. Z. But do either of you see a problem? Ooh, I know, chirped the red monster. The child is out of bed again. Correct, Abigail, Mr. Z continued. And one of you must get him back in. Let's revisit rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise. All at once, poof, the monsters vanished. Then I heard more rumbling. Were they hiding in my closet making noises to scare me? Ah, no, it was only my stomach grumbling. All this excitement was making me hungry. Next.
Eagle.
We tiptoed past the closets and peeked around the doors. So far, so good. No monsters. Then we stepped over the squeaky stair and sneaked down into the kitchens. As we reached into the pantries, we heard some chattering behind us. We sure hoped it wasn't that toe-loving Gabe.
Next.
Daddy Derek. Talk about a monster under your bed.
I'd rather take Gabe, thank you. I yanked open the fridge. Ha! It wasn't Gabe. It was just the red monster shivering on the shelf. I found you, I laughed. Nice try, Abigail, said Mr. Z, but this isn't working. You're not the right monster for this child. But Mr. Z, she whined, it's not my fault he's not scared of me. I'm sorry, Abigail. Let's go. Abigail clumped behind Mr. Z. When I heard the creaking, I knew she was gone. Because ignorance of the monster laws is no excuse.
Exactly. How's your Krang from G1 TNMT?
Not good. Pass.
Not good. Agent Smith, I assume from The Matrix?
Pass.
We already did that one. Walter from Jeff Dunham.
I grabbed some crackers and headed upstairs. Shut the hell up! Wondering if Gabe was gone too. I munched all the way down the hall and went into the bathroom to brush my teeth again. I can do that more easily since I can just pull them out of my head.
Ew.
When I opened the door a minute later, Gabe was definitely not gone. He was right there and he was huge. Dumbass. Next.
Mike Wazowski.
Very fitting for this book.
I charged into my room and slammed the door. When I leaped into bed, I knew my toes were safe. Phew! I was surprised to hear breathing under my bed. Ragged breathing. And stomach rumbling. Hey, kid, Gabe growled. Good to see you. I pulled up my covers tight. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to start the evening with an ominous puddle of drool. I peeked over the edge of the bed. Green ooze spread soundlessly from underneath. Oh no, they squished Mike. Next.
Frankenstein from Young Frankenstein.
But I heard you look crooked, and I left the game again. I'm on again.
I think you might need to read that one again.
Yes.
This time as Wallace from Wallace and Gromit.
Then the bed quivered as Gabe unfurled his spiked tail. Oh, this looks quite promising, Mr. Z noted. When I heard some more creaking, I knew Mr. Z was gone. And I was all alone with Gabe. Oh, heck. Next.
Gotham's Penguin.
Gabe loomed over my bed and began sharpening his uncut claws on my bedpost. How'd you get so big? I gasped. Rule number 5, my friend, he explained. People food makes monsters grow. So, thanks for the crackers. Got any toes I can munch? I scrunched at my feet so Gabe couldn't get them. This was way better than playing with trucks. Again, I don't see how. Next.
Kitty McCormick?
Let's test today, but they can have this, and testing a stuff what's out of the brew. Give Dolphin a side perfect snatch in the room as he stepped at the toe. The shepherd.
Okay.
One more time. Next voice.
George Lopez.
Pass.
Nick Offerman.
Pass.
Goofy.
No toast tonight, but you can have this, I offered, tossing a stuffed monster off the bed. Gave dough for it. His soft, comforting snorts filled the room as he snuffled the toy. I shivered. Yes, that'll get the kid to sleep. Next.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time. Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah. Sorry?
I'm a gummy bear. A yummy, tummy, yummy gummy bear.
You don't have to read a passage as Gilbert Gottfried since you did that?
Oh no, I still got to read.
Oh, damn.
But before I do, I have one question. Pardon me, you'll have to forgive my dumb memory here. Did we ever watch Gilbert Gottfried reading 50 Shades of Grey?
No. Because that combines two of the things that I hate the most.
Exactly, so it would be hilarious.
You enjoy it. Tell me how it goes.
But you're not going to believe me.
As possible. I'm not watching that.
No. Party pooper.
No.
Okay, Gilbert Gottfried.
Kid, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. No other monster can scare me like you, I giggled.
Gilbert Gottfried giggling. How you like that?
I'm giggling like a small child.
So gross. He sounds so inappropriate.
Okay, final page, final place.
Ugh.
Shall we do one of the other 2, 3?
No. Spreading them out. I need a palate cleanser. Give me some Captain Jack.
You're welcome, baby.
Captain Jack Sparrow, please.
Gabe was the monster for me. His snorts and ooze were perfect. I yawned, then I shivered again. I was asleep in no time. Sally?
Much better.
You're welcome, love.
All right, let's get
So,
some bonus stories.
that was How I Met My Monster.
That's a really good book.
Really weird, though. Okay, so it's the monster's duty to keep the child in bed. Okay, fair enough. Why was the kid enjoying this? Should he have been terrified? Because it looked like he was terrified. But anyway, yes. For the bonus stories, we are going to be delving once again into 5-minute Star Wars stories.
Something popped up on your screen.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
And take a sip of water and rest your voice for a minute.
I'm taking a sip. Lovely. So, as I was saying, yes, 5-minute Star Wars stories. Dum, dum. This is a text crawl. This is a text crawl like the movies. I am so clever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's our Jennifer Tilly for the day.
No, you didn't do Jennifer Tilly justice. You should like Jennifer Tilly.
Now her life is
I
a
can't stop
giant.
liking her. I can't stop liking her because of one role. I mean, my God, I still like Christopher Lloyd. And look at the shit he's been in. Carrie Elwes.
Good God. I'm sorry that watching Bobsheaux with me is ruining so many of your favorite actors.
Lord have mercy.
I'm not trying to do this, I swear.
No one believes you. Least of all me.
Oh. Anyway, our first story: Escape from Darth Vader. Starting with what voice?
Skeletor.
It was a time of war. Rebel spies fought the sinister Empire for control of the galaxy. One of the rebels was named Princess Leia. Yeah. She had been given plans for the Empire's newest weapon, the Death Star. Now Leia was on her starship, heading home to Alderaan. But she was not alone. An Imperial ship was chasing her. Oh no!
Next voice.
Renfield from the 1931 Dracula.
On board Leia's ship were two droids, R2-D2 and C-3PO. C-3PO was worried. He did not like being attacked. "We're doomed," he said as the starship shook. "There'll be no escape for the princess this time." That's why you wanted
Definitely
Redfield.
getting to that player error 404. He is going to do that when it's coming up.
Uh-oh. What is that?
One of your favorites.
But not now.
But not now. We're not there yet.
Next.
Can you do South Park's Saddam Hussein?
Oh, God.
Suddenly, a loud blast rang the ship, Guy. It had been captured, and as the droids watched, the starship's main door blasted open. Stormtroopers rushed in, swarming the ship. The stormtroopers fired the blasters at the rebels, and the rebels fired back. One by one, the rebels fell. Soon the stormtroopers were in full control of the ship. And as the battle went down, a mysterious figure emerged from the ship. I can't do fast like this. A mysterious figure emerged from the smoke. It was Darth Vader. "Hey, Guy." Hey, relax, take a load off.
Next.
Scar from The Lion King. The original Lion King.
The only Lion King. In the commotion, R2-D2 slipped away. Noticing that R2-D2 was missing, C-3PO set out to find his friend. "R2-D2, where are you?" he called. Elsewhere in the ship, Princess Leia looked at the plans for the Death Star. She knew she had to keep them safe. If the Empire got the plans back, the rebels wouldn't stand a chance. You have no idea. Just then, R2-D2 appeared. That gave Princess Leia an idea. Oh, so she had an idea. Next.
King Bob.
Crap, I don't know Minionese.
Just give us a King Bob.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
King Bob!
That's what you wanted. Next.
Brew.
Going back to Constantine here, kind of. Princess Leia leaned over and began speaking to the droid. She was recording a message for someone who she hoped could help her and the Rebel Alliance. "I have placed the information vital to the survivor of the rebellion into the memory systems of this R2 unit," she explained. When Princess Leia was done with her message, she inserted the plans for the Death Star into R2-D2. Then she told him where to go. Next.
Captain Obvious.
Pass.
Jack Torrance.
Princess Leia was just finishing her instructions when C-3PO found R2-D2. "At last," he said. "Where have you been?" C-3PO pointed back at the stormtroopers. "They're heading in this direction. What are we going to do?" R2-D2 wasn't listening. He turned around and zipped off toward the escape pods.
I don't think I've heard you do that voice before. That was good.
It's just a little bit of Jack Nicholson. Next.
Batman, Adam West.
Princess Leia watched until she was sure R2-D2 was safe. Then, lifting her hood over her head, she became the Caped Crusader. No. she crept into the shadows. There was still a chance that she could get away too. Next.
Beetlejuice.
Meanwhile, Darth Vader was speaking to one of his commanders. The Death Star plans are not in the main computer, the commander reported. That did not make Darth Vader happy. Tear the ship apart until you found those plans, he ordered, and bring me the passengers. Next.
Harley Quinn.
The stormtroopers wasted no time. They had been searching long before they spotted Princess Leia. She tried to escape, but she was not fast enough. The troopers brought the princess to Darth Vader. I want to know what happened to the plans, he told her. Princess Leia refused to speak. Darth Vader ordered his commander to take her away. He would get the truth out of her, somehow. He would just ask her really nicely.
Next.
Sean Connery.
But the plans and R2-D2 were about to leave the ship. They were inside an escape pod. Oh, yes, you're welcome, my lady. You're not permitted in there, C-3PO told him. It is restricted. You'll be deactivated for sure. R2-D2 just beeped at him. Beep. Secret mission, C-3PO asked. What plans? I'm not getting in there. Just then, another explosion rocked the ship. C-3PO hurried into the pod. I'm going to regret this, he said. The door slammed, and the escape pod rocketed off into space. Well, actually, it looks more like it just kind of fell out into space, spiraling on its way down, but... Final page.
Randy Marsh.
Pass.
Comic book guy.
A short while later, the pod landed on a desert named... on a desert planet named Tatooine. Worst planet ever. The plans were safe, but the droids' adventures were just beginning. At the end.
And next story, we have Destroy the Death Star, which is just on the next page. Awesome. Next voice.
Master Splinter.
For years, the rebellion had struggled against the evil Galactic Empire. Now, for the first time, the rebels had an advantage. They had discovered a weakness in the Empire's greatest weapon, the Death Star. They could use a good pilot like you, Luke Skywalker said to his friend Han Solo, as the rebels prepared for their attack. Sorry, kid, Han said. The smuggler wasn't interested. He had more important things to do. Like sit around and get kidnapped. Next.
Mayor Quimby.
Luke walked away with disappointment, but he needed to keep his mind on the mission. At times like this, he missed his old teacher, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Luke climbed into the cockpit of his X-Wing fighter while they loaded his astromech droid R2-D2 into the ship. Luke was glad the little droid was his co-pilot. The two friends had been through a lot together. Go Quimby. Next.
Herbert the Pervert.
Always.
Always.
The fleet of X-Wings flew toward the space station. Look at the size of that thing.
Oh, perfect. And P.
I am not. Shut up. You stop saying that.
As they approached the massive Death Star, I repeat, everyone started to get nervous. Luke heard a mysterious voice in his head. Luke, the Force will be with you.
It's funny because he was Obi-Wan.
The Force will be with you, always. Just like I will, always. Of course, when you get older and get some crow's feet, I might lose interest.
Oh my God.
Next.
Now it's time for one of your favorites.
Yes.
Sam Witwicky.
God, I hate you.
Don't hate me. Hate the person who suggested it.
Soon the Death Star's cannons began to shoot at the X-Wings. Laser fire exploded all around Luke with his friends, but there was no time for hesitation. I'm going in, said Luke. Luke heard the voice again. Luke, trust your feelings. The voice seemed familiar and helped Luke focus. He dodged the laser fire and swooped down towards the surface of the Death Star and the other X-Wings. I'm done. Shut up!
Oh my goodness.
Next.
Jesse from Miracle in Toyland.
Might as well be Sam Witwicky all over again. Nobody cares about you. Yes.
Really?
It's Jesse Justice.
Oh my god.
But the X-Wings were not alone. A fleet of TIE fighters appeared behind them. That was going to make things even more difficult, especially since Darth Vader himself was leading the enemy ships. No! The TIE fighters fired on the X-Wings. Luke's ship was shot. I'm hit, but not bad, Luke told the other pilots. R2, see what you can do back there. R2-D2 got to work fixing the damage. The little droid was both brave and smart. And while they're talking about how brave and smart R2 is, we get a nice close-up of Lord Vader. Okay? Not going, I have you now. What? Next.
Next is Barney.
The first of the X-Wings entered the Death Star's trench. Not that we know the significance of this trench according to this story, but there you go. The lead pilot got close to the exhaust port, but the one weakness of the giant space station. The pilot fired, but he missed. Oh no, that's terrible. Back at the Rebel base, Princess Leia and C-3PO were worried about their friends, but they were also worried about the Death Star. If it got close to the base, it would destroy them all. That's super duper. Next.
The Spider versus Kingpin.
Pass.
Audrey 2.
The second attack run of Rebel ships dove into the canyon to take their shot, but they missed too. It was all up to Luke. He just had to dodge Darth Vader and the enemy TIE fighters on his tail. Luke tried to use the targeting computer to make the shot, but he heard the familiar voice in his head again. Use the Force, Luke. It was Obi-Wan. Luke shut off the computer and trusted himself. Right as he was about to take his shot, Darth Vader's TIE fighter appeared right behind him. Next.
We're starting to get suggestions for animes. Does not know how to do those voices. Can't do them.
Well,
no anime voices, please.
Okay. You know what? I will make this one concession because it is the one voice. Well, no, okay. It is the two voices that I know. The next two pages will be read with Stinko Man and I think his name is One Up. I don't know. Darth Vader's lasers locked onto Luke's X-Wing. I have you now, Vader said triumphantly. Ha 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 ha! I have you now. But before Vader could fire, another ship swooped in and shot at the TIE fighters. It was Han Solo in the Millennium Falcon. Wait, what? He had returned just in time to save his friend. Yahoo! Han shouted. I'm shining with excitement. Then he added, you're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home. Now on to the Homestar character, whatever his name is. Luke was so happy his friend had joined the fight after all, but everything still rested on Luke's shoulders. If he didn't make the shot, the rebels were doomed. Luke thought about what Obi-Wan had said. Luke closed his eyes and used the Force. He waited, then when the moment was right, he fired.
Oh my god.
And I'm done with anime voices. Thank you.
Japanese cartoons are weird. Oh, excuse me. Japanese cartoons are weird, man. But I might be onto something with that blue hair. Looking pretty nice. Looking pretty nice. There's the paper.
I
Next,
don't know how
please.
familiar you are with this show, but Launchpad McQuack,
Pass.
Humphrey Bogart,
Pass.
Michelangelo.
Luke did it, dudes! The torpedoes flew to the exhaust port. Great shot, dude, Han Solo said. That was 1 in a million. The rebel ship sped away from the Death Star as fast as they could. Seconds later, the entire space station exploded in a giant burst of light. The Death Star had been destroyed. Radical.
Final voice for the story.
Patrick Starr.
Ugh. As Luke and his friends flew to safety, he heard Obi-Wan's voice in his head one last time. Remember, the Force will always be with you. Luke smiled to himself. He and his friends had defeated the Empire and rescued the rebels, and soon they would save the entire galaxy.
Well, by soon, like 2 to 3 more years, but yeah, something like that. Next story, the Battle of Hoth. Next voice.
Rudolph Valentino.
Pass.
Dr. Eggman.
Pass.
HAL 1000.
Deep in the cold reaches of space, where no one can hear you scream, the ice planet Hoth orbited a pale sun. The surface of the planet was a frozen wasteland. Nobody lived there, Dave. At least, nobody was supposed to live there. And that made Hoth the perfect place for the Rebel Alliance to hide from the evil Empire. I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Dave. Next
That
voice.
sounds creepy.
It's supposed to be creepy. I just found it boring.
Marvin the Martian.
From the helm of his Imperial Star Destroyer, Darth Vader stared grimly out into space. He was looking everywhere for the Rebel Alliance. Vader sent hundreds of probe droids into space, seeking any sign of the rebels. Soon, the rebels noticed a droid snooping around their base on Hoth, and that made them very angry. Princess Leia hurried to their command center with Han Solo and his friend Chewbacca to discuss the droid. Come on, Chewie, Han told his Wookiee co-pilot. Let's check it out. The droid self-destructed before Han could capture it.
Actually, Han blew it up.
But first it sent a signal back to Darth Vader. The secret rebel base wasn't a secret anymore. It's a good bet the Empire knows we're here, Han told Leia. Where's the kaboom?
Next voice.
We're getting back into stuff I don't know. Carter Pewterschmidt?
And Darth Vader wasted no time. His fleet left for the Hoth system right away. They didn't want to give the rebels any chance to escape. While Vader's Star Destroyers lay in wait in the sky above Hoth, 4 armored Imperial walkers began to make their way across the icy tundra toward the rebel base. Next.
The Angry Video Game Nerd.
Princess Leia ordered the evacuation of the base. Most of the rebels hurried onto the transport ships and left immediately, but others remained on Hoth to stand and fight. They would protect the base until everyone else had escaped. Leia stayed with them. She didn't want to leave her troops alone. Han Solo stayed with Leia. He didn't want to leave her alone. What was he thinking? That's what I got. I suck. Next.
Professor Radigan.
Meanwhile, Luke Skywalker climbed into a snowspeeder and led a squadron of fighter pilots out into the plains of Hoth. Oh, he loves it when he's nasty. They were going to try to fend off the monstrous Imperial walkers. Luke hoped to keep them far away from the base and far away from his friends, Leia and Han. Next.
Disney's Hades.
Pass.
Bernie Sanders.
Luke's squadron tried firing directly at the walkers, but it did no good. That almost too.
God,
That almost
really
too.
good. I've never heard you do this one before. He's a little louder though. He's famous for being loud.
He's famous for being loud. Okay, I'll be loud.
He yells everything.
He yells everything. I never did him before, but I'm kind of surprised it's sounding good. This is sounding good.
Sound good.
Okay, it's sounding good. That almost too strong for blasters, Luke declared. Oh, see, he's declared. He's saying it louder here. So they used cables instead, tangling one of the walkers' legs together. It worked. Luke ran underneath another walker. He fired a grappling hook into its belly and pulled himself up underneath it. These things have bellies? That's weird. Then he used his Jedi lightsaber to cut it open. Luke threw a grenade into the walker and dropped back onto the ground. Boom! The walker flashed with green sparks and exploded. Next.
Really good.
Thank you. Everyone should get free walkers.
Negaduck?
Pass.
I don't know who that is.
It's a Darkwing Duck baddie.
Oh. Brian Blessed?
Isn't he the voice actor that does everybody?
I don't know.
Pass.
Dr. Evil.
But even as Luke tried to keep the walkers away, the base was taking fire. The floor shook violently. Han and Leia could barely stand up. Hey, stop shooting our base, a-holes! Then the alert came. The Imperial troops have entered the base. Han grabbed Leia's hand. Come on, that's it. It was time to go. Han and Leia ran to Han's ship, the Millennium Falcon. The golden droid C-3PO followed on their heels.
Next.
Dingo Dial?
As they all boarded the Millennium Falcon. Hey, baby, we've been there. And it sucked. But, Dingo Dial.
Darth Vader personally led his Imperial troops into the now empty Rebel base. As the troops searched for any signs of life, Chewie and Han tried to get the Millennium Falcon started. The engine revved, then choked. Steam billowed everywhere. Would it help if I got out and pushed? Leia said sarcastically. It might, snapped Han. You wanker. Han and Chewie worked fiercely to get the ship running. Leia scowled. They were going to be captured by the Empire unless they could get the Millennium Falcon's engine started.
Next.
Brian Blessed was the voice of the Gungan leader in Phantom Menace.
That's right. That's how I know that name. I can give that a go. Just as Han and Chewie were making their final repairs, Darth Vader and a group of Imperial snowtroopers entered the hangar where the Millennium Falcon was docked. They opened fire on the ship. Han and Chewie fired back as the engine rumbled to life. See, Han said. Leia rolled her eyes. Someday you're going to be wrong, Leia told Han as the ship leapt into the air and rocketed out of the base. And I just hope I'm there to see it. Darth Vader watched angrily as the ship escaped into the sky. Final page for the story. Final voice.
Waco.
Waco. Pass.
Tony the Tiger.
Luke Skywalker watched them go as well. He knew that the Millennium Falcon was the last ship to leave the base. Luke had done his job, and Han and Leia had gotten away. The Rebel Alliance was safe again, and it was great! All right, we are moving on to our final story here. A Friend for Rey. Going into The Force Awakens here now. First voice for this.
Mr. Burns.
On the sandy planet of Jakku lived a lonely girl named Rey. Ray lived in the old wreckage of an Imperial walker. Years before, the Rebel Alliance had fought the evil Empire in the skies above Jakku. The Empire's ships had crashed into the sand, and Ray called that rubble home. Next voice, Smithers.
Do you know Pennywise 2017?
Only from how it should have ended.
Nah, I don't think you should do that.
Still have to see it.
Yeah, we have to see that one. I'm scared.
They all fucked.
Uganda Knuckles?
Pass.
Wayne Brady?
Pass.
Alright. Pennywise Tim Curry.
Ray searched the Empire's crashed ship to look for used parts. Ray could sell the parts to Unkar Plut at Nima Outpost for food. Unkar was not always fair with his trades, but Ray made enough to get by. One night, Ray was eating the small dinner she had managed to get from Unkar by trading parts. Suddenly, she heard a beeping noise from outside. The beeping sounded frightened. Ray ran toward the noise to see what was happening. Aha! Next.
Cowardly Lion.
Ray saw an alien riding a scaly beast. The alien had trapped a little white and orange droid beneath the net. The droid was beeping for help. Ray called out to the alien to stop. She gripped her battle staff, ready to fight, but the alien just shouted angrily at Ray. She could tell he didn't want to fight her. Come on, put him up, put him up. So Ray walked over to the droid and began cutting him out of the net. Next.
Principal McVickers.
Wow. The alien decided the droid wasn't worth the trouble. He rode away on his beast, still shouting insults at Ray. The droid questionably, "That's just a Tito." Ray explained as the alien vanished in the distance. "Wants you for parts." The droid thanks Ray for helping him and told her his name was BB-8 and you're expelled.
Keith Ledger's Joker.
Where'd you come from? Ray asked the little droid. But BB-8 refused to tell her. He said it was a secret. Really? Well, me too. Big secret, Ray teased. If BB-8 wanted to keep to himself, that was fine by her. She told him how to get to Nima Outpost, then started to leave. But BB-8 followed her. Then he asked, "You want to know how I got this ball?"
Good gracious.
Next.
Conroy's Batman.
"You can't come home with me," Ray said. BB-8 beeped sadly. He did not want to be alone in the big desert. Ray sighed. She told BB-8 he could stay with her for one night, and only one night. BB-8 beeped with happiness and followed Ray all the way home. This is the final story, and we've only got so many pages left.
Oh boy. Nick Cage.
Pass.
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage before. Okay. Bayless.
The next morning, Ray took BB-8 to Nima Outpost. "There's a trader in Bay 3. Might be able to give you a lift wherever you're going." Once again, Ray started to leave BB-8 behind, but he refused to let her go. He insisted he was waiting for his owner to find him on Jakku.
Sorry, Bayless.
Awesome.
Next.
Chucky from Child's Play.
Pass.
Invader Zim.
Ray lets BB-8 out, follow her to Unkaz. There she traded all the spare parts she had found on the previous day. Ankar also offered to buy BB-8. He said he wouldn't give her a month's worth of food for the droid. BB-8 beeped in worry. He did not like where this conversation was going. Next.
Do you know who Ernest P. Worrell is?
Yeah, that's Jim Varney's guy.
Yeah.
Ray thought about Unkar's offer. Selling BB-8 would give her more food than she ever had in her whole life. But as Ray looked at the little droid, she knew that she could never sell him, no matter how much it would cost her.
That kind of went a little George Bushy.
It's strategery. Final voice for the final story. We got to make it good.
No, it's not the final story. You're going to go through how I met my monster one more time.
Gotcha.
It's only 11:30. I was going to have to go till noon.
Fair enough.
Barney Gumble?
The droid is not for sale, Ray told Ankar. Ankar was very angry, but Ray didn't care. Together, Ray and BB-8 left Ankar's shop behind them. The pair walked side by side through the outpost, chatting happily. Ray smiled to herself. She didn't know what her future held, but for now, it was just nice to have a friend. The end.
We're going to have to plan for Wolf of Bob to join Storytime. He can't just... It's going to take some advanced prep for that to happen. It'll be cool. We'll do that one day, though.
Yes. Maybe for the next stream? Later this evening?
Maybe.
Come
we can work out.
to the patron
yes,
stream.
You cannot mention Snape and then give the points to Gryffindor. He is a Slytherin. Slytherin forever, baby.
Yes. Anyway, so yes, one fun reading of How I Met My Monster. Bum, bum, bum. As he is just pleased as punch to meet this horrible thing, which is going to eat his toes.
So weird. It's a whole book about foot fetishism.
Ugh. Okay, so first voice.
John Cleese.
One night, when I reached under the bed for my truck, I found a note instead. Monsters, meet here for final test. Z. Ha! My parents were obviously trying to trick me into staying in bed. I didn't believe in monsters. I did, however, believe in silly walks. Next voice.
I'm picking and choosing. Need to make sure we get all the good ones.
And all the bad ones.
Snagglepuss.
So I crumpled the paper, grabbed the stick, and zipped over to my garage. Stage left even. I heard some creaking and rumbling, but I wasn't scared. Our house always made noises at night. Next.
Pingo.
Ugh. Oh, Big Al is offensive, but Pingo isn't. But then a voice under the bed scolded, "Stop that stomach rumbling! The child will hear you!" Voices? Stomach rumbling? If this was part of my parents' trick, it was pretty cool. I peered into the inky blackness. 5 pairs of eyes blinked back. See? Now he knows we're here! Fabulous! Fabuloso! One of you has broken monster rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise. Surprise! Hello! This is no trick, I thought. There are monsters under my bed.
Better monsters than screwdrivers, I suppose.
Next voice.
Periwinkle.
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 I cannot do Periwinkle's voice. However, I will let Periwinkle himself read for you. A long-necked yellow monster slid out, followed by 4 little monsters. Rule number 2. The yellow one instructed, never block the bed. All of you, scoot over. Hey, I realized that one must be their teacher. Wow, he's got glasses and a necktie. That's right, yes he does. He must be their teacher. I sat up straight, mesmerized by the monster parade shuffling across my bedroom. Wow, that's a lot of monsters. That's right, there are. I'm going to put you back on the desk, okay? Okay.
He's so cute.
He is. Steve, pay him some attention, damn it.
Really?
Next.
Penguin from 1966.
That's better, the teacher monster said. Access to the bed is clear. Now, who knows rule number 3? The purple monster teetered on his tiptoes and gurgled, "Get the child to bed!" That's correct, Genghis. How would you do that? Well, Mr. Z, I would roar my scariest roar. All right, give it a go. Genghis took a deep breath, opened his mouths, and let out a tiny blurp.
Next.
Okay, let's get this one over with.
I'm sorry, who?
Trump, a dumpster fire. I'm saying, sorry, president.
Stomach rumbling would have a better chance of getting me into bed than that funny little noise, I laughed. The child is right, said Mr. Z, shaking his head. That was not sufficiently scary, Genghis. I'm sorry, you're not the best monster for this child. You're fired. There was some...
Thank you, that was enough. Let's move on.
I'm not yet done with the page.
You're done with it.
I will be done with the voice when I'm done with the page. That's how this works. Yes. There was some creaking as Genghis slunk beneath the bed.
Listen to me.
You're welcome. You wouldn't want...
Valeska.
Oh, come now. You wouldn't want me to waste Jerome on one single sentence, would you?
No, you could have just given him an extra sentence and then done a passage.
Yeah, I could have, but this was funnier. Before I could investigate where Genghis had gone, Mr. Z asked, "Where's my face?" No. Now, who wants to try to get the child into bed? The orange monster looked at the ceiling. The red monster looked at the floor. Only the green monster looked at me. First, he stared at my toes and started drooling. Then he stepped toward me, and I heard that rumbling noise again. I sprang into bed so he couldn't get my feet. Mr. Z blinked. Very unconventional, Gabe. Your stomach gurgles seem to be what this child needs. What I needed was to make sure this little Gabe monster didn't eat my toes. How many toes can you eat before that bit gets stale?
Okay, next let's have some...
What's courage? Grace under pressure.
I love him so much.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Snape, please.
Right, you three. The child is now in bed, said Mr. Z. As every monster knows, the ultimate objective is rule number 4. Who can tell me what that is? The orange monster bounced and squeaked. Keep the child in bed until it falls asleep. Yeah, imagine Snape bouncing and squeaking. Correct, Morgan. And how would you accomplish that? Shadow puppets. Shadow puppets. She squeaked again. Gabe whistled through his nose and snickered. But Mr. Z said, "Interesting idea. Try it." Next.
Can't imagine Professor Snape squeaking.
Or proclaiming shadow puppets.
Miss Piggy.
Morgan hopped onto the night table and flailed her arms near my lamp. Silly shadows blobbled onto the wall, and a cloud of fluffy fur tickled my nose. Achoo! Morgan, stop at once, Mr. Z ordered. You're supposed to scare him, not make him sneeze. I'm sorry, but you're not a match either. Morgan's arms flapped to her sides, and she scuttled under my bed. There was some more creaking, and Morgan was gone.
Very good, very good.
Next.
Owen Wilson.
After all that sneezing, I really needed a tissue. Suddenly, a huge shadow of uncut claws loomed across my room. Awesome, I thought, and kind of scary. I froze in place. Next.
Boogie Boogie.
Powerful performance, Gabe, said Mr. Z. But do either of you see a problem? Ooh, I know, chirped the red monster. The child is out of bed again. Correct, Abigail, Mr. Z continued, and one of you must get him back in. Let's revisit rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise.
So good.
Thank you. Next.
Jeff Goldblum.
All at once, poof, the monsters, they vanished. Then I heard more rumbling. Were they hiding in my closet, making noises to scare me? No, it was not. It was only my, stomach grumbling. All this excitement was making me, hungry. Yes. Next.
Gonzo.
I tiptoed past the closet and peeked out the door. So far, so good. No monsters. Then I stepped over the squeaky stair and sneaked down to the kitchen. As I reached into the pantry, I heard some chattering behind me. I sure hoped it wasn't that toe-loving Gabe. And it turns out it is Gabe. Wow, this is terrific. Next.
Like I said, I'm looking for good ones. I know you don't have that many left. Let's do your Mad Hatter, Johnny Depp Mad Hatter, where he morphs in the middle. I really love it when you do that.
I yanked open the fridge. Ha! It wasn't Gabe. It was just the red monster shivering on the shelf.
I found you! I laughed.
Thank you. Next.
Mel Brooks.
A nice try, Abigail, said Mr. Z, but this isn't working. You're not the right monster for this child. But Mr. Z, she whined, it's not my fault he's not scared of me. I'm sorry, Abigail. Let's go. Abigail clumped behind Mr. Z. When I heard the creaking, I knew she was gone. Next.
Oh, shoot. I'm drawing a blank. The character with the tentacles from Pirates. Davy Jones? Yeah, Davy Jones.
I grabbed some crackers and headed upstairs, wondering if Gabe was gone too. I munched all the way down the hall, then went into the bathroom to brush my teeth again. When I opened the door a minute later, Gabe was definitely not gone. He was right there, and he was huge.
Now, there is nothing attractive about the character. Believe me, nothing. But for some reason, it just gets me. The voice and the accent just, Like, I kind of understand the whole tentacle thing.
I was going to say, are you sure you don't have a thing for someone who's all tentacly?
No, I'm very certain that doesn't do it for me. But I could get into it just to have the voice and the accent. I don't know why. It's just
Oh my.
Mhm.
Next.
Let's see. How many more voices do you have?
Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. Let's have Darth Vader.
I charged into my room and slammed the door. When I leaped into bed, I knew my toes were safe. Phew. I was surprised to hear breathing under my bed. Ragged breathing and stomach rumbling. Hey, kid, Gabe growled. Good to see ya. I pulled my covers up tight. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to start the evening with an ominous puddle of drool. I peeked over the edge of the bed. Green ooze spread soundlessly from underneath. No, that was my monster.
Da, 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 da.
Next.
Unicron from Transformers the movie.
Then the bed quivered as Gabe unfurled his spiked tail. Well, this looks quite promising, Mr. Z noted. When I heard more creaking, I knew Mr. Z was gone. I was alone with Gabe. For a time, I considered sparing your wretched little bedroom. But now you shall witness its dismemberment. Next.
Shrek.
Gabe loomed over my head and began sharpening his uncut claws on my bedpost. How'd you get so big? I gasped. Rule number 5, my friend, he explained. People food makes monsters grow. So thanks for the crackers. Got any toes I can munch?
Oh, God.
I scrunched in my feet so Gabe couldn't get them. This was way better than playing with trucks. I'm not convinced it is. Next.
Sweeney Todd.
No toes tonight, but you can have this, I offered, tossing a stuffed monster off the bed. Gabe dove for it. His soft, comforting snorts filled the room as he snuffled the toy. I shivered. And you shivered too, didn't you, love? Next.
Oh, that was it?
That was it.
That was short.
And these last two voices are going to be short too, so you got to be good. And there's one of the 3 we haven't used yet.
Okay, you can do that one next, but then I get to pick the final voice.
Yes, you do. That's how that works.
Thank you.
Kid, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. No other monster can scare me like you, I giggled.
Mm-mm.
I love you.
No, you don't.
Final voice for the final story.
I choose Antonio Banderas.
Gabe was the monster for me. His snorts and news were perfect. I yawned, then shivered again. I was asleep in no time. The end of How I Met My Monster. You're welcome.
That's better. Man, you guys just don't know. I am an audiophile, okay? This is cruel and unusual punishment to my very sensitive and gourmet ears. You make him do these horrible voices.
I'm better than gourmet toes. Do we all have a good time?
Yes, what did you think? Did you have favorite voices? Did you like the story?
Something to write down for next time. Pepe the Brano guy.
The encore performance tonight will be at what time?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Pacific
Oh yes, that's
Time.
right. We had one more free stream tonight. Then
Right.
it was tomorrow. That was going
Right.
to be the patrons only stuff.
It will be the same book
Yes.
for the main story, but there will be different bonus stories.
We're not saying which though.
Right.
So
There will be different.
come if you want to see it.
And of course, different voices reading different passages in different ways, and so it's just it's all it stays fresh that way.
Yes. Oh, and everybody recommend more Trump. My lady loves him.
No. I'd rather listen to Bernie.
We're gonna make Bobsheaux great again.
I'll take it. I will take it.
Oh, next time, trade off the voice reading with Raven. Ooh, there you go. Any voices that you can do, baby?
I can't do voices.
You can do voices. Come
I
on.
cannot do voices.
Yes, you can. Do it. I know you can do a couple.
I can't do voices.
You can do a few.
No, I really can't. I can change the pitch of my voice, but I can't do impressions.
Can't do accents.
No.
Oh, fine. I will.
can't.
I will carry the weight of it.
But
But
we were playing around with the idea of maybe having me appear on next month's stream.
yes, we were, weren't we? We got to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah. Of course, it's going to be patron exclusive.
Sorry,
You really want to see me? Just $1 a month. You get all the patron exclusive content.
Literally pennies a day, people. But yes, this was a lot of fun, and I'm glad you guys had a fun time too. But anyone who didn't have a fun time, well, screw you. No. Be sure to come back to the stream at 5 o'clock. It'll be a lot more fun then, I promise.
I don't know if it'll be more fun. It was fun.
It will be more fun because there'll be more me coughing.
There will probably be more people showing up.
Let's hope so, because the more the merrier. Come on. Recalibrate your cell phone. No? There we go. Trying to see these last few comments here.
And we were being reminded to watch the Cats trailer.
Yes, I have not seen that yet, but I've heard things.
Yeah, I've heard things too. Maybe that's why we're putting it off.
I don't know. But yes, we'll see that, and then we will get back to you later tonight on that, probably.
Oh, yeah.
See you guys later.
Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you tonight, hopefully.
See you at 5.
Bye.